Evan, I appreciate you for meeting with me for an episode of Insight Discussions. And today, something I wanted to talk about, something that's important to myself, is entrepreneurship and just working in general, something that stresses out a lot of people. We try to find jobs to take care of ourselves and our families. Some of us really do not like the idea of working for somebody else and being underneath their schedule and not really pursuing our dreams. So, entrepreneurship is something else that really a lot of people get very involved in. They develop a love over time for that, but they don't really understand the ins and outs of growing their business, how to market, how to advertise, how to be a good boss, and even for some that don't want to do that, how to find good jobs. So I know that's something that we both have talked about in the past that you wanted to go over with me, and I appreciate you sharing your time and your information with us as well.
Absolutely, man. I'm really excited to talk through it too. And I'm a young guy, and so I got a lot of friends that are in the marketplace and either want to start their own thing, think about starting their own thing, work for people, trying to get a job. So I hope it's a really good conversation as well.
I'm sure, man. So just to start off with, could you give me me and our audience a little bit of a background on yourself and how you got involved in the business that you do, the name of your company as well, and what you help entrepreneurs and businesses to achieve?
So there are two main business entities that I'm a managing partner in or I own. I'm the sole owner of Caffeine Marketing, which is a digital marketing agency based in Atlanta, Georgia. And we help small businesses that are doing less than 10 million, it's somewhere around 10 million in online revenue to make marketing profitable. So we might do websites, paid advertising. We essentially create a marketing strategy for them and then execute that strategy so that their marketing is profitable and then grow their company. So that's one, it's caffeine marketing. And the second one is Tactos. Tactos is Greek for tactical. It's myself and two other business partners, and we buy, grow, and sell businesses. So right now, between all of our different brands, we've got, I don't know, over 20 different brands, maybe like 13 small businesses within that or more. And we're essentially trying to grow all of those businesses. And those are all online businesses. They're SaaS companies, they're e-commerce, what have you. So I'm the CEO of Caffeine Marketing. I'm the CMO, managing partner, whatever, of Tactos. And then we've got two brands that I also function as the CEO of temporarily, interim, if you will.
Okay. Let's start off this part of the conversation with this. In two sentences, I'll give you three, in three sentences or less. What is marketing?
Marketing is influencing people towards a purchasing decision. So I'll go with that.
Okay.
I'd say I use influencing because I think that you're essentially communicating, here's a pain point that you're experiencing. Here's how much better your life can be on the other side of buying a product or service. And I think we all influence, marketing is influence, like you're influencing people to make decisions. And so I think the only clarifier there is you're influencing people towards a buying or a selling experience, really. So it could be one of the two technically, but most commonly it's buying. So any activities a business undertakes to influence, there we go. Here's the snappy version. Any activity a business takes in order to influence a person or organization towards a buying or selling decision.
Okay. Makes sense. The front end version and the back end version makes sense to me. So now, in order to contrast and compare in three or less, what is advertising?
Advertising is paying for people's attention. So, in my opinion, advertising is a vehicle of marketing. It is a type of marketing. Um, Marketing is any activity that you do. So, emails. If I'm just sending an email to somebody, that could be marketing or sales. But advertising is when I pay money to Facebook, a newspaper, a TV show, Google Ads. I'm paying a company to acquire the attention of somebody. So if you go on Google, I'm paying to show you an ad. Facebook, show you an ad. I'm paying for your attention. So that's advertising.
Okay, so let me get a couple of examples. So I'm watching the Super Bowl and I see a Hardee's commercial with the models from Baywatch, and they're covered in burger grease and lettuce, and they're talking about how great this burger is. Is that advertising, marketing, what is that right there? What is that commercial?
That is both advertising, marketing, and then I would also say branding. So branding and marketing, in my opinion, are different but related. They're brothers and sisters, if you will. And branding is how you make somebody feel. So we all have personal brand. Everybody has a personal brand. It's how you make other people feel about you. And a business or a corporation or a brand, an entity as a brand, makes people feel a certain way. So when they're doing that ad, and the way that you described it was great. They're trying to get you to feel a certain way. Not only are they're paying for your attention, they're also trying to move you towards a purchasing decision, but they're also trying to influence the way through branding, the way that you think about them.
Okay. So the time slot in between the Super Bowl plays, the time slot is that's the advertising, the time slot that's there. I paid
Yep.
$300,000 for that time slot, or I paid $50,000 for this pop-up on your screen, or like a side scrolling ad on this website. That's my advertising.
Yep.
So the marketing would then be what would be the marketing in that situation?
Marketing would be the why or the concept, like
Okay.
the purpose behind it. So if you think of advertising as the vehicle, marketing is the destination, if you will. Like you're
Okay.
marketing somebody. Um, Actually, maybe the destination is them to get a purchasing decision or a selling decision, but the vehicle is marketing. The advertising is the gas. I don't know where this
Gotcha.
analogy breaks down, but it's the fuel to
I,
get.
I think I get you. I think I get
Yeah.
you. So with I'll use another example that some people may be able to relate to as well if they either hate Hardee's or they don't watch TV. So with Apple, I know part of their branding is the exclusivity and the higher quality, or the upper echelon of their branding, but they advertise through pretty much everything. Just the Apple logo on the back of their phones is a way of their advertising, and would that be a good assumption?
So technically, the logo on the back of the phones would be branding and marketing,
Okay.
because the marketing is anything, right, to get people to make a purchasing decision, but it's also branding because it's influencing the way people feel. So if that Apple device is on somebody's desk and somebody else walks by that desk and they see that, that's marketing, because you're influencing that person's purchasing decision to, maybe I need to go buy a new iPhone. Now, here's really Apple is known as like one of the branding experts, and so is Tesla in a way, because they're making you feel a certain way. Now, one of Apple's most famous advertising campaigns was Think Different. And so in that moment, they were trying to, yes, move you towards a purchasing decision. And yes, they paid to show you that billboard or that TV spot or that newspaper. I think it was actually a newspaper where they did it, but it's mostly branding. It's mostly getting you to feel a certain way about the product and go, oh, I'm not a PC user. I'm a Mac user. That's the kind of person I am. I'm that.
Okay.
So Apple is king of branding for sure.
Gotcha. So to swing this back around to those that own their own businesses, and I'll take two off the top of my head. Let's say that you have someone that is a woman, and she has social media profiles. She does modeling. She does. She is a business owner where she owns a bakery, but she also does Instagram modeling and things like that. How can she use advertising, marketing, and branding to help with her businesses and things of that nature? I threw out a bakery, but that may really not have anything to do with marketing. But I'm sure that there's some woman who's an Instagram model that also bakes cakes. So we're gonna run with that one. So go ahead.
Bro, I was like, this is an interesting person. She's business savvy. She's a model. I'm like, dude, she's a catch for somebody, whoever this person is. Yeah. So if that's you out there, this might be your selling card. You just send it to somebody. So anyway, let's said person. Okay. Let's break it down. Okay. So her Instagram is kind of marketing in such a way. So she probably has two Instagrams. She probably has her modeling / personal brand Instagram. She might reference the bakery, but the bakery probably has its own Instagram as well. Okay. So there's two. And you could just say social media accounts. Now, when she's posting, that's marketing. She's just organically posting on social media. That is marketing. Most likely, her bakery does not have as many comments and follows and likes as her modeling personal brand Instagram. Yeah. So that's got a lot more organic, as we would call organic reach than the bakery. Now, that's not advertising. Neither of those are advertising because you're not paying to show somebody an ad. You're just simply posting on social media. Now, I don't know the modeling industry well enough to go, hey, here's how you can advertise yourself as the model. You could probably pay on some sort of marketplace of models to like show your, profile higher up. That's probably a thing that you can do. You could probably show
Using Instagram and Facebook ads, things like that, paying that way it comes up a lot more often.
Yeah, I would almost like if I was doing marketing strategy for like a high, somebody who really wanted to do modeling well. I don't know modeling well enough, so I'm not saying this like super confidently, but I do think that there's probably a marketplace of models. Now, I got a couple friends that model, and they'll put themselves on a directory, but I imagine on that directory you could probably pay to have a premium listing that has this fancy thing. You could show more photos. You could probably show videos in addition to your listing. That is advertising. Because remember, if advertising is paying to show people, is paying for people's attention. Now, when you pay for that premium profile on that model listing, that's actually advertising because you're paying to show somebody your listing. You're paying for their attention to show up higher up. I don't know if I would run Instagram and Facebook ads for a model. I'd have to figure out who am I targeting, like who's the person that I'm trying to sell to. I don't know that super well. That's the question mark. But you probably could run retargeting ads. So if you had a website, if this model had a website, we could run retargeting ads promoting people who have already gone into our website to contact her agent to book her as a model. So that's a possibility of how you could do paid advertising. That's how you would do marketing in there. And her branding is actually the Instagram post that she has. So the type of post that she has, the filter, how it looks, like what she's about, what she stands for, what she's into, her interest, all that stuff. That is her brand. Not necessarily when she posts, but the actual news feed itself. Like if you go into her profile, let's say there's a bunch of collections of photos and videos, that's her branding. It's going to make you feel a certain way. Now, the bakery, this is where I think it gets more interesting and more I'm confident of what we could actually do here, is one, there's pre and post intent advertising, okay? So there is pre-intent, which means we're generating interest before somebody's aware that they have that need. So let's say there's a bakery right down the road from me, and I wanted to make, let's grow the bakery with pre-intent. I'm showing Facebook ads around a certain radius, maybe 10 miles within this bakery, and I'm showing delicious videos of people biting into cinnamon rolls or whatever, or tearing open something other, delicious food, and maybe some photos as well. So that's pre-intent marketing. Now, post-intent, well, advertising as well. Post-intent is I'm looking for a bakery. I've got a wedding, I've got some sort of event, I've got to get some bakery stuff. And I go to Google and I search bakeries near me. Now, I can pay Google to show up really high on that listing. Now, you got to know what you're doing to do that. That's just an oversimplification, quite honestly. But I can pay in order to show up higher on that listing. That's post-intent advertising. So I can either generate interest from people that didn't know they needed my product, or I can capture people's attention, which knew they needed my products and services. And then obviously the branding is your photos, your videos, your fonts, your packaging, anything that you do really is branding in some form or fashion.
Gotcha. So personally, I feel like I got the gist of that. I feel like I comprehend that on a good level. So for someone that is they have maybe one page of family, friends, and just people that find them to be funny or interesting, and that has a large following, but they want to do something else. Is it a bad idea to continue to cross promote on those two things? Should they just try to start organically with their new project, their new thing, whether it's a bakery or workout, fitness, things of that nature, how should you go about? Is the best course of action just to hire a media marketing company such as Caffeine Marketing to do that for them? What are some of the best options for them to be able to grow?
So if we're talking, well, I just, well, I won't, anyway, if we're talking about this person individually, I would say, depending on their budget, I would have them do their own social media. And I say that because what I've found is when we as an agency run people's social media for them or brands social media for them, the return on investment is typically not there. It does not equate in a 1-to-1 or 10-to-1 return on investment. So every dollar that I spend, this they spend with us does not result in a 10x return on investment. That's like what we want. That's like our goal, is to have a great return on investment for our clients. So we don't typically offer that. We don't offer to just run people's social media for them. It's important, but it's not the highest revenue generating activity. It should be done. That person can run their social media and they can build their personal brand and just do it on the side and for fun. But until you have some sort of revenue generating activity, I would not pay money to an agency to, do that for you. And honestly, you need to be a pretty big business for that to make sense. You need to have some sort of scale to you, because it's going to cost, for a good agency to do it, it's 5 to 10 grand a month. And you already have to have a pretty decent following for that to make sense.
Gotcha. So you definitely don't want to come out of pocket. You want to have money coming in monthly to say, you know what, if I want to scale it, Pat, I'm already a successful business. I'm already making money, but I want to scale it to go further. Then you would go into a marketing company, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, I wouldn't hire a marketing company until you've got some of the business stuff. Now, what you could do is you could find someone like me, it doesn't have to be me, but like if someone like me who can help you with the strategy to figure out what you can do as a business owner with little to no budget. It's like, what activities should you be focusing on? Like, we've got one client right now that I just consult with twice a month, and that's a lot of fun. And she does almost all the work. Now, I would say that I wouldn't pay an agency, obviously, until you have the money coming in for your own business. But just to clarify, when I say running somebody's social media, I almost never suggest that to pay an agency to do that. The reason why you might want to do that is because you don't, from a business perspective, you don't want to hire more people. You don't want to actually hire out a team of 3 people to do it yourself. You'd rather not do that for whatever reason. Or you can't get the quality talent that you want. Like, you don't have enough skill set there to go, we can do that. We can do that better in-house. And so for me, I obviously, for our brands, I just hire the person in-house because I know how to manage a creative and help them be successful. But if I don't want to manage creatives and I don't want to hire a bunch of internal people, then you hire an agency. But the agency also is hiring those people. So you're essentially paying for that premium markup in that regard.
Because that I as the marketing agency, I'm going to find somebody to do this. So now you're paying not only to do business with me, but you're also paying that person's salary or whatever they're paying. Gotcha.
Right. Indirectly. I'm not like billing you for their salary.
Yeah.
I'm billing you for a service that I know is going to. Yeah, totally.
Okay. So with marketing companies, would that be better for example, my wife who has a spa company, that a marketing company would be better for someone like that has a storefront or someone that has a business that they want to grow, rather than like an influencing type of page or whatever.
Yeah, an influencer. Yeah, it could be any type of business as long as there's transactional revenue. There's revenue coming in. That's when it makes sense to partner with an agency or grow your marketing. If you're an influencer, I'm sure that there are people that do that, will run your influencer Instagram account for you. However, that doesn't fit our mission and values of like delivering a high return on investment for our customers, because I'm like, are we managing? You could do it. You could manage people paying to show stuff as like a typical influencer, like to post about certain things. So, hey, I imagine it's possible.
It just wouldn't make sense with a company such as yours or similar to that.
Find someone who specializes in that, or I just hire somebody. Like, if I was doing it, and I've considered this, I kind of made a deal with myself. I'm like, if I post every day myself in 2021, post every day, I will either buy a really fancy camera and hire some editors, or I will just hire somebody to run my own personal social media for me and do it right. Like just really get after it more than me doing it every 2 weeks for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So that's possible, but I wouldn't hire an agency to do it. Even if I would just hire a person to run my social media, because then that person can like follow me around, and they could be like, hey, Evan, talk about this, talk about that, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So for those that want to start a company, whether or not it's an ice cream shop, a bakery, whether or not they want to open up a firm as far as investing, things of that nature, what are some of the best ways if they want to start off with marketing for themselves or advertising or branding for themselves? If you could give 1 point on advertising, marketing, and branding for a company, just one each, what would be the three biggest things you could think of? Just starting off and say, hey, I want to start off with my business, but I don't have the bandwidth to hire anybody else on. I want to start off by myself. What can they do?
And the first thing that I would do, I mean, honestly, education and reading. So I would go buy the top 20 books on marketing on Amazon, and I would read all of them. And you'll be much more informed. And I know it's kind of extreme, but like, this is actually what I would do. I try to read a book a week. And so I'd go buy all the 20 bucks and I would just learn all of that stuff. And then I'd try to be having an intelligent conversation with a marketing agency, because then I would know, okay, hey, here are my goals. Here's what I'm trying to do. And I would find a trusted expert. Your goal is not to be an expert as a business owner. Your goal is to have an intelligent conversation with somebody who is an expert. So I want to know just enough to where I can trust that you actually know what you're doing. Now you go do it all. Like, don't, I want to understand messaging, but I want you to do all the messaging. That's how I tend to think about it.
Okay.
So read Building a Brand by Don Miller, Marketing Made Simple, Business Made Simple University, or Business Made Simple. It's his other book. He's got 3 books. I'd read all 3 of those. And I think if you just had 3 out of the 20, those 3 will get you pretty far.
And you broke up a little bit. Who did you say the author was?
Donald Miller.
Donald Miller. Okay. Okay. So that's definitely something to look into there. And you said earlier, as far as the return on investment when it comes to marketing and what you're looking for. So could you, if you're able to, could you give an example of maybe one of your most recent clients that came to you all that was looking for some marketing and the result currently?
I'll give you 2 quick examples.
All right.
One for Tactos and one for Caffeine. So for Caffeine marketing, we recently, I know actually this is not super recently because we've been working with them for a long time, which is a good thing. They've been really happy working with us, but we rebuilt their website. This is within the last year. We rebuilt their website. We started Google ads and we started Facebook ads. Their average return on investment for all of that has been around 10 to 15 X what they're spending with us, which has been phenomenal. I wish I had a money printing machine where every dollar I put in got 10 to 20 or 10 to 15 back. So that's pretty good. And in that, we're still managing their Facebook ads and their Google ads campaigns. So, and there are several, I think they're a multi-million-dollar business. And so a couple grand that they've spent with us has really turned into several $100,000. So, I think they've spent.
Is it an Atlanta-based company or is it further out?
It's in Texas.
Okay.
They're e-commerce and B2B. So they do like direct, you can buy on their website, and then you can also buy by calling their sales reps, and their sales reps will come and help you. So that's one. Your example is Tactos. So we recently became partners in a business, and so far I've had a 700% growth in sales on Shopify and an increase the profit margin from 7% to 25%. So that's really exciting. That's super fun.
That's a big jump on the profit margin. That's a very nice jump. About how large is Caffeine and Tactos marketing now?
Tactos has, between all the entities, I think we've got 40 team members or so, somewhere in there. And then Caffeine is myself, a full-time employee, and then 8 contractors. So I like to keep Caffeine real lean.
Okay. If anybody has any kind of questions or comments that they want to contact Tactos or Caffeine Marketing or you for consultation, things like that, how can they reach out to you and get in contact with you or your companies?
Yeah, my email is evan@caffeine.marketing, which is kind of hard to remember. So you can just go to caffeine.marketing Espino.com, Caffeine Marketing, and I'd love to talk to whoever. And I look forward to talking as well. And I really appreciate your time to talk today.